So Bill Gothard, if you know who he is, he founded this organization called Principle or Basic Life Principle Institute. I might have messed that up. Anyways, he is like the founder of this Christianity religious cult, and he kind of well, he's also a classmate of one of my friend's wives. So like I kind of knew who he was on a personal, like not personal level, but I knew who I knew his wife on a personal level. Anyways, sorry, not his wife, a wife of a friend of mine that went to. Basically, when I was 15, that was a few years ago, I actually met him in Chicago area, and the story goes like this. So it's called A Journey to the Heart, and it's this thing where there's teenagers and kids that they go up to the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, and they have like this Bible study to seek God and to try to get closer to Jesus and get closer to the Bible and God and all this. And so I went up there, and Bill Gothard is the head of this, okay? And some of the Duggars, if you know about like the 19 Kids and Counting Duggar show, one of the Duggars were up there, and he was going. Some of the Bates go to some of the conferences, if you know like the Bate family, that they're all like on TV or something. So I wanted to go and check this out, see who Bill Gothard was, and they got this great little cult, basically. Okay, they try to tell you what the Old Testament says and what Jesus's rules are. You're supposed to love your neighbor, supposed to do this. Basically, all the things I said in my my last video about that Jesus, Yeshua, he was just exaggerating. And then on the contrary, then Bill Gothard is like saying, "Oh, well, Jesus, he means to say this, blah 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 blah." You know, bless his heart, maybe he's trying, but that's not the reason I'm posting. I'm not just saying, yeah, you tried. But I'm just to say that Christianity is so messed up that this is the little short story of what happened to me. So I go up there, and I was in the process of writing my chronological gospels. The basic print of it was done, the layout of it. I had the draft, okay, at least the final draft. I was 16 years old, had just spent a year, basically 15 to 16, doing this chronological gospels. Great book. I spent like many hours of my life working on this, and I just thought it was neat. And I showed him some music. I played some Hebrew music. He thought that was kind of neat. And then I go on this prayer retreat. And before we leave the Chicago area, my group leader, his name is Derek, and Derek tells me, it's like, you can't bring this along. You can't do this. So I'm like, well, what do you mean I can't bring it along? What was that supposed to mean? It's like, oh, this is terrible. This is bad for you. That I don't want you to be judging or teaching or anything. I just think that you need to be studying and seeking God. I'm like, what's that supposed to mean? But anyways, I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, I'm just like, okay, well, whatever. And then and then I go to play the piano. And when I play the piano, I'm just playing some Hebrew songs, some worship songs that I know. And the same guy, he comes over and like, that's like rock and roll. That's from the devil. You can't play that. That's satanic. And I'm like, this is not satanic. It's like the beat is just satanic. I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of weird. That's strange. And then he gets me in private. This guy, he's probably like 20 something, 27, 28. He gets me in private. He's like, you can't bring this chronological gospels. You can't teach this, and really like condemning. And I'm like, and then I just start crying. I don't know why he's so condemning. He's just really strict and really strict. I'm like, what's going on? I'm 16. Like, I didn't try to do anything wrong. What's going on? This is, I mean, my study, I've worked on it for a year. And this guy tells me that I can't take it. And I'm like, why was wrong? So moving on to the next morning, I go, and Bill Gothard, he's going to have a presentation, going to have his morning teaching. There's 30 or 40 kids there, maybe 50 kids there. And in the morning, I'm getting ready about maybe 5 minutes before his speech, that I go into the back, as I normally do right before the message, okay? It's just so I don't have to go in the middle of the message. And I go into the bathroom, and as I'm in the bathroom, and I the toilet, get out of the stall, and I see Bill Gothard there. And Bill Gothard is in this bathroom, just me and him alone. And Bill Gothard looks at me and is like, "Oh, you're Nathaniel, right?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's right." He's like, "Yeah, well, I just want to tell you, just between you and me, that I talked to Derek, and I really feel like he's got this good thing going, that you're not supposed to take your chronological gospels with you up to the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. Is that okay with you?" I'm like, "Well, that's not really okay with me, but I mean, if you want to." He's like, "Well, I just want to make it clear that I really want you to respect that Derek guy. That you gotta do this. You gotta leave that behind." And whatever kind of music that he says you should listen to, that he knows what he's talking about, you got to listen to his kind of music, or like the music that he says. Like, he knows, like, if you're playing rock and roll, like, you don't do that to him. And I mean, for me, I'm just really uncomfortable because, like, we're in a public bathroom, just me and him. I'm like, why is he talking to me privately in a public bathroom? And it just really kind of weirded me out. And then later on, I found out that he also, I mean, he had people try to accuse him of stuff. Who knows if it's true or not? But he kind of lost his ministry, and it kind of went downhill from there. But just knowing my experience of like the last bathroom for like 2 to 3 minutes about going to Michigan, leaving my chronological gospel behind, not listening to Hebrew worship music, and basically he was in his own cult of his own imaginary world. And also people were talking about how much he liked ice cream, and I mean, he's just like this kook, okay? But people follow this guy because he seems to know what he's doing. He talks about the Old Testament, he talks about Jesus, he talks about the Bible, he gets a big following. He's, maybe 70, 80, 90 years old now, 80 something years old. And they get this following because of who he is and what kind of a person he's lived up to be and all this. But the truth is it's a false prophet. And my point in giving this message is that sometimes things look good, and there might be this cult that's like, Jim Jones, all these people going after the Kool-Aid. They're going to drink it, they're going to kill themselves. But I'm telling you, don't go after that Kool-Aid. What you need to do is go after the Almighty Jehovah, keep his Torah, his commandments, and that is how the kingdom of heaven will be imparted to you. Meeting Bill Gothard in the bathroom, it was just one more experience of how I don't want anything to do with Christianity. There's just too many weird instances that end up around the bathroom, okay? That I think that it's important to realize that the same type of people that say that women can't wear pants, men can't wear shirts. I mean, sorry, if they don't wear a shirt, they're sinning, and if they wear shorts, they're sinning. Putting all these rules and regulations, saying, "Oh, you gotta cover this and cover that," they're the same kind of people who end up meeting you in the public restroom, only you and them alone, being like really uncomfortable with. And so that is the situation that I don't want anything to do with, okay? That I'm done with Christianity. I'm going to start over from scratch. And not just gonna, I mean, I have been since 2009, May 2009 to now June 2018. Over 9 years. This is my 10th year of really seeking the truth of the Torah and the prophets and Yeshua. So I do encourage you to do the same thing. Seek Yehovah, seek the Torah, seek the prophets, and seek Almighty God of how you can be in that secret place, as Psalm 93 says, that he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Almighty shall abide by his protection. You want to be in that protection. Please stay tuned for more, and I'll be back with you later. So shalom and Lingtov.